You may not know it, but we're all part of a massive machine. If you look closely, you can see it almost everywhere. It's on the radio and on TV. It even affects the way we conduct our elections and run our governments. But it's starting to break down, and as it falls apart, the American economy could collapse with it. To understand how the machine works, let's take a look at one of the gears. Meet Sally, a school teacher. By all accounts, Sally is a great teacher. She works hard every day, helping kids, being productive, and generating the income she lives on. Like the rest of us, a portion of Sally's income is automatically deducted to pay her taxes. But in Sally's case, something else is taken out too. Sally works for the government, and to get that job, she's required by law to join a union. Unions work by collecting dues from their members and then using that money to lobby for better pay, better benefits, and better job security. In a public sector union like Sally's, the government acts as a kind of collection agency, automatically deducting those dues from her paycheck and sending them to the union. Now meet Jim, the head of Sally's union. Jim's got a lot of power. Jim's power comes from the flow of money that the government sends his union every month. It's in Jim's best interest to increase that flow. In fact, his job depends on it. Growing the union is exactly what Jim gets paid to do. So he uses some of the money the government sends him to pay for a media campaign promoting his plan for more teachers, higher pay, and better schools. Teachers love it, parents love it. Who wouldn't want better schools? In fact, an up-and-coming politician named Edward loves it so much, he makes Jim's plan the centerpiece of his platform. Once Edward signs on, Jim decides to spend even more of the union's money on contributions to Edward's campaign. And with all that extra money, Edward is able to outspend his opponents. The plan works perfectly. Edward gets elected, the government spends more money on the public school system, the union gets more dues from all the new spending, and Edward gets more union contributions for his next campaign. It's a well-oiled machine, except there's one piece missing. Where did all of that money come from in the first place? We know that Edward got his money from the union got its money from Sally, and Sally got her money from the government. But where did the government get all of its money? From all of us, of course. First, we work hard to make the money. Then some of that money is automatically deducted from our paychecks to pay for government employees like Sally. Then some of that money is automatically deducted from her paycheck to pay dues to unions like Jim's. Jim uses some of that money to make campaign contributions to politicians like Edward, and Edward uses those contributions to campaign for more teachers like Sally. And the machine just keeps growing and growing, non-stop because of us. Our money is the fuel. For decades, teachers' unions have been among our nation's largest political donors. They influence who gets elected and who doesn't. Perhaps because of this, the United States now spends more money per student on public schools than at any time in our history. We're getting the more money part of Jim's plan, but without the better schools part. And that's because the machine isn't designed to produce better schools. It's designed to produce more money for unions and more donations for politicians. It's a political perpetual motion machine, and the only way to stop it is to break the chain of automatic money transfers from taxpayers to the government to the unions and then back to politicians. It's our money that fuels it, so it's up to us to do something about it before the fuel finally runs out.